If you're looking at growing some thick glutes, then you will want to make sure that you have a hip thrust in your library. But before you begin, make sure you don't do these 5 big hip thrust mistakes. Number 1 is having your feet too close to your bum, and number 2 is having your feet too far away from you. If your feet are too close, you're going to feel it in your quads. If your feet are too far away, then you're going to feel it in your hamstrings. You want to make a 90-degree angle with your feet and your knees. A little tip to get a general idea of where to place your feet: mark out where your knee is, mark about 1 inch away from there, and then place your heels there. Make sure they're even on both sides. Then from here, we can just get into our hip thrust. Boom. If you want a free glute workout, make sure you check out the link below and let those booty gains begin. The third biggest mistake is that your knees are caving in throughout your hip thrust. You want your knees to stay in line with your feet throughout the whole hip thrust. And your knees should be directly over the top of your heels when you finish your hip thrust. So when you do hip thrusts, keep your knees out throughout the whole movement and don't let them cave in. Thrust. Before I tell you the next 2 biggest mistakes, make sure you like and subscribe. Fourth biggest mistake is when you're doing your hip thrust is you're leaving your head back when you're thrusting. This is going to put pressure on my back and my lower spine because I'm rounding my back as I do my hip thrust. When you're performing your hip thrust, I want you to tuck your chin in and keep it tucked the whole time and look forward. This is going to help create a neutral spine when you perform your hip thrust and keep everything nice and pain-free. Fifth and final mistake is having your back too far up on the bench. From here, I'm not very stable when I'm on the bench, and if I keep thrusting, I'm going to slip down the bench and I'm not going to be able to do the thrust properly. You want the bench to be just underneath your lower part of your shoulder blade. Think about just under your armpit. So what you're going to do is sit right up against the bench. Make sure that bench is just underneath your armpit, lower part of the shoulder blade, and you're going to roll the bar over top of you. Mark out where your feet are if you need to. Get them nice and close to your body. Suck it in, Corey. Grip the bar. Make sure your knees are out and they stay out in line with my feet the whole time. And from here, tuck my chin down. Now we're going to scoop up our hips and do our hip thrusts, making sure our knees are 90 degrees, back down, repeat. Those are the 5 biggest mistakes. If you want to grow your glutes, make sure you like and subscribe because there's more free advice coming your way.